That was fun, wasn't it? Keep telling myself that. First of all, I appreciate our players so much. Kept their composure. It looked bleak there for a while. You think about the first half, some of the mistakes we made, gave up some big plays, which always gets you back on your heels. We throw the interception in the first half. We miss a field goal. We end up missing 2 field goals. It was bleak. And no question we took New Mexico State's best shot in that first half. And then we go in at halftime. You're talking about keeping your composure. Adversity is what we've built this thing on. Staying together is what we built this thing on. And then Carlos, with a great effort, but he fumbles the opening kickoff of the second half. Let's talk about staying together. They stayed together. We were able to hold them to a field goal there, and then that's the last points they scored in the second half. I think they had 3 points and maybe 50-some yards offense in the second half. So really just proud of our guys not panicking, not caving in, not getting rattled. I don't think there's any question. Again, you look around tonight, I think it's now that it's over, I think you have to take a deep breath and just say how far this has come. When we first came in here, that was a grass field out there. We did get the video board going in the second half. Sound system. Really a good crowd and a football team that definitely has changed the culture. May not have been the prettiest in the first half. Maybe some people left after the first half. But I think at some point you have to just stop and say, boy, it's come a long way. And it's been the work of a lot of people. I'm not putting any Mountain West Conference Championship banner up or anything. We all know what we are. We all know how hard we have to work for everything we get. But I do think at some point you have to stop and say, man, it's come a long way. That atmosphere tonight was really good, and I appreciate everybody coming out there. We put the Zia on the helmet. I spent a lot of time this week just in history lessons with our team, talking about this state, talking about the Rio Grande River as we do each year, talking about the Zia, the significance of number 4, whether it's the seasons of the year, the periods of your life. I know it pales by comparison. To get 4 straight against this team is something I'm really proud for. These 16, we have 16 kids, counting walk-ons, that leave here undefeated in this game. So it was it's a game I'm proud of. I'm proud we were able to hang in there and win this game. I'm proud we took their best shot. I think they've got some good players. I think they're well coached. I think they are definitely improving. I think it bodes well for the state of New Mexico. But tonight I'm happy for the Lobos. I do give them credit. I do wish them luck because they have shown significant improvement and right now don't really have anything to show for it. But I see it, and our coaching staff and players see it. So big win, to be able to string 2 in a row together. But more than anything, just to be able to stay together, stay confident, not get rattled. I thought offensively we made some adjustments. We had a hard time. Obviously, the open date helped them. I thought they did a good job of running people to the perimeter. We ended up going back and running a dive up in there, wore them down, mixed in a couple perimeter plays in the second half. But they did a good job of making us run it up between the tackles. But eventually we kind of wore them down. Big win, man. We're going to enjoy this one tonight. And then it's on to conference. And you can see we've got a competitive football team that's got a lot of heart. So, Rick, start us off here.
You talked a little bit about adjustments you made on offense in the second half. What adjustments did you make on defense?
Absolutely none. The first big run he had was a 3rd down and 10, the first series of the game. We were in a pass coverage call. We call it bracket, and we're playing man. All of a sudden, he takes that thing and breaks it on us. You know, it was a good call. I was not surprised, but I was impressed how fast he is. I mean, he was fast. The next time we had a 3rd down and about 6, I think it was, and our nose guard got reached a little bit, and he took that thing in the gap and just took it on us. You know, I do think it's significant that we were a beat-up football team. You know, William Uday really didn't play, didn't start, so we started Timmons. Nick DeVonzo pulled his hamstring out here in practice significantly on Tuesday. So Kenny Okonkwo started it in. Kenny Okonkwo goes down with an ankle in the first quarter. So we had Cody Baker, a true freshman, in there. We started 2 sophomore ends, Garrett Hughes and Kenny Okonkwo. Kenny Okonkwo goes down. Sam Abani didn't even dress. So we were down Sam Abani, William Uday, and Nick DeVonzo. And then Kenny Okonkwo goes down. So we were up against it, up inside. But we really didn't make any adjustments. You know, we felt schematically we were in pretty good shape. When you get out of a gap against him, he took it, and they took advantage of it. And then in the second half, I thought we just calmed down a little bit more, certainly when their quarterback went out of the game. That was a huge advantage for us, huge advantage. But really no changes schematically.
Which was bigger, you mentioned both, which was bigger for the program, winning the back-to-back for the first time in a long time, or winning 4 straight now against New Mexico State?
I think you can probably, you know, flip the coin on that. You know, again, we had a chance last year after winning down in Las Cruces. We came home against Fresno on a Friday night, couldn't get it done. We go to San Antonio, we beat UTSA, a good team. We come home on a Friday night to San Diego State, couldn't get it done. So to win on the road at Wyoming and come home and get this win is big. You know, we knew they were going to come in here in some ways a desperate team, which there's a lot of positives that come with that, being a desperate team. We also knew there can be some negatives with that. But we just couldn't get it going early enough, and we let that fire for them burn, you know, start to get some momentum. But we were able to stem the tide in the second half.
Talking about fire, I know you said you were talking to them about poise and all that stuff at halftime. What's more effective as far as stoking their fire, getting your guys out there? Because you know, for them to hold them to 52 yards, that's pretty good.
Well, you know, again, it always comes back to execution. I know you get tired of hearing that, but it really does. You know, we were excited about playing. We were excited about starting this game. Lamar Jordan was really excited. You know, there was a lot of talk about punishing our quarterback. Obviously, he takes the first one and goes down the field for the big touchdown. No, it was more execution in the second half, and it's just amazing what being the hammer and not the nail. You know, when you give up those big plays, man, you just get back on your heels, and we've had a history of doing that. And you know, it bit us again in the first half, but we were able to fight through it and get a little more confidence. Amen.
How about next week? Now you go back to conference play. I mean, is this keep building more and more pivotal to keep this streak going?
Can't wait. I can't wait. You know, we got a chance. You know, you look at the next 3 games. This won't be the last big game we've had in this stadium. You know, we get Hawaii here in 2 weeks. Hopefully, we can have the same kind of crowd, maybe more. We may not be a great team, but we're fun to watch. We're fun to watch. So, you know, hopefully we can have the same kind of crowd in 2 weeks. Next week we go up to Nevada and have a chance. Momentum's tough to get, man. Momentum's about as tough to get as changing the culture. And I think we're starting to do that. Okay? How about this little guy right here, number 7? Does he hit it up in there? Come on up here, Gip.
Teriyon, what was it like scoring that go-ahead score?
Oh, man. That was the best feeling in the world, you know, put us up. I just want to thank the O-line, though. They did a heck of a job. The hole was just there. I just had to hit it and run. That's what they was telling me all game, that it's going to be there. Just trust it. And I trusted it, and I hit it, and it was there.
Is it one of those things like you saw the hole there and your eyes got it?
Oh, yeah. I saw it, and I couldn't believe it. I just seen green. I seen an O-lineman pancake a guy, and I seen green. I just ran.
How big is it just to win back-to-back games and start getting some of that momentum that you guys been wanting?
Oh, man, that's real big for us because, you know, around here we haven't really won back-to-back games. back-to-back games is a big thing, especially against this team. It's a big game around here, a rivalry game. So we trying to take this momentum on to the next game against Nevada, and we'll try to win 3 straight.
How hard was it to, what was the atmosphere like at halftime? How hard was it to keep it together and just to come out in the second half like it was 0-0?
That was kind of hard. We was down, and usually when we down, we don't really come back how we did today. The defense stepped up and played a heck of a game, didn't really give up no yards in the second half. The offense, we knew that it was there for the inside zone. We just wasn't hitting the right hole, and the offensive line kept telling us, it's there, just trust it. In the second half, my running back coach pulled us to the side and said, just trust it, just trust it. I trusted it, and there were some big holes there making big plays.
New look, uniforms, helmets. What's your report on that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I loved it, the new look, the helmets, the charcoal helmets, matched the charcoal jerseys. Yeah, I liked it, the new uniforms a lot.
You guys knew it was coming, right, as far as
we found out Thursday. Thursday put the new helmets in the locker. Everybody was excited, because we're used to the silver helmets. So the new charcoal was a big look. I really like those helmets a lot.
How important is it to keep this train moving in a positive direction now with next week going back to conference play?
Oh, it's most definitely important because, conference play comes. That's when it really matters. This game really mattered a lot, but that's when it really matters, conference. So we trying to win the conference championship, keep winning games, and keep the streak alive.
What does it do for you guys mentally to come back on your own home field after being, you were down, and they were just seemed like they were scoring more, and you guys mentally had to overcome all that?
They do a lot. The coaches always tell us it's 2 halves to it. If we up by 50 or if we down by 50, it's 2 halves to be played. So we come in there like it's 0-0 at halftime. The defense stepped it up. We fumbled the ball on the kickoff return. They gave up 3 points. We stepped it up on offense and just stayed hungry, kept our head down, and kept pushing.
Anything else?
Thank you.
We just need to let everybody do their job because first half we started off good, but then everybody just trying to make plays, not just missing their assignment. Plus we had a couple new guys playing, so it was just everybody coming in, getting the feel for the game, and just come back out and do their job and just play ball.
Coach Davie said there really weren't any adjustments defensively from the first half to the second?
No, it definitely wasn't. It was just everybody was just like, we had some missed assignments, things like that, some mental error, some busts. And we just had to come back in the second half, fix that, and just come out and just keep playing hard.
How about heading on to conference play next week now? What do you have to do to keep this momentum going?
Well, that's big. Getting this win, going to conference, 2 straight wins. Going to Nevada, away game, and the away game, it was going to be a tough, so getting this win is big, especially for the conference. Just keep putting us close to a bowl game.
What'd you guys say to each other in the locker room after the game when you guys came in yelling and screaming? And what was said?
We just had a couple guys step up, take leadership, and just get the team going, get momentum. So we go in the second half, just come out firing. That's just what we did.
How you like the new look?
Oh, I love it, man. The helmets, I loved it. Hope we get to wear it again sometime soon, but for right now, on to the next week.
Phone call, sorry. Anything else for Lee? Get out of here. Good job.